Right, let's get into comparing some of the shots. Just to start off with though, the Nikon will be on the left, Sigma will be on the right. If you're wondering why I have got these silly signs up, it's because once you've taken a photo, you can't actually see which lens it was taken on. All you can see is the 70-200mm here on the right. So if I click on the Nikon, it's 70-200, Sigma 70-200, which doesn't help a hell of a lot. I did try some EXIF software to see if I could tell which lens was which on the original shoot, but I couldn't, so I had to get back out there and shoot again. So if you're ever going to do a lens compare, make sure you know which lens took which image. Something else you need to know, this was all shot on a tripod, so I tried to make it as stable as I can. All the images were shot with the timer activated and exposure delay, just to try and get that extra bit of clarity to make sure, try eliminate any possibility of movement. Let's see. So on the left hand side, we're going to start off with the Nikon, and then what's going to happen is they're taking it f2.8, and then I up the aperture as we go along, so you can see, make your own conclusion from these images. So I'm going to load up the first image straight away. This is shot at 1/100th of a second, f2.8, and it's 70mm. So all ISO 100. The images, I mean, if I sit here and look at them, it would be hard to tell you the difference apart from the birds. The only time you start seeing the difference is on most of these lenses is when you start going into it. If you look around the edges, they're almost the same. I mean, it's really hard to tell, and at the price difference, well, £1,000 is a lot more difference to pay for the same image quality. However, let me zoom in, and this is where you start seeing the difference. You might need to make this full screen. It is in HD, so hopefully you'll be able to see this on the video. If not, download the files and have a look for yourself. That's the most important thing of this whole video. Look at the files yourself and decide which lens is right for you. I know which lens is right for me after doing this, but you might need to do it yourself. The image on the left to me looks sharper. This looks a bit softer, not as crisp. The colors look a bit better in this one. So for me, that's a Nikon one, and that's at 70mm. If I load up the next photo, you'll see this is now shot at 1/8 of a second. It was on a tripod, so I'm not too fussed about how slow it was. F10, 70mm again. Once again, the right hand photo is a bit lighter, but that could be cloud changing or something crazy like that. Let's zoom right in. The corners aren't as dark. If I zoom in, you can see once again that the Nikon is quite sharp. There's the same section on the side over here, but to me, it's a Nikon win. The bokeh, well, that's about the same. There's not much in it. And we load up the next set of photos. This is now shot at f22. Major difference in this one. There's a person. No. Images, once again, the right hand one looks a little bit brighter. That could be because it was taken a few seconds later. This was taken at 14:29. This one was taken at 14:24. So there's a 5-minute difference. Anything can happen with the clouds. So let's go have a look. The colors in the left hand one seem a bit better. This seems a bit flat and bright. And when I zoom right in, start looking at the image again, neither of them are fantastic, to be honest. None of them are actually super sharp, so I'd probably call that a draw. If you feel differently, please leave your comments below. If I feel differently, well, that's why I've got the images up here for you to go have a look at. So there's those images. Let me load up the next set now. Now I've zoomed in a little bit here, so we've gone to 105mm. Why 105mm? Well, I've got a 105mm macro lens, which I'm going to compare a shot to later again, and I like 105mm, so that's why 105. So on the left hand side, is the Nikon again. Both of them, now to me, I'm struggling to see the difference. The right hand one might be a little bit darker, a bit more richer, the left hand one a bit washed out. It's subjective, I suppose. So the second I start zooming in, we can start seeing the difference. Now this is at f2.8. The depth of field over here is completely different to it over here. I focused it right in the middle of the tree, so this is quite sharp. It's sharp as well, but this stays sharper a lot further back than the Nikon did. The Nikon starts, getting a bit more blurry, a bit more bokeh as it goes back. So the depth of field I found was slightly different on the Nikon. It was a lot shallower. You can see that around the edges here, but both of them fantastic pictures. Well, I say fantastic, it's a piece of bark. However, when you look at the point where I focused and actually focused on the front, the Nikon, I would say the Nikon wins that one, even though it's got a shallower depth of field. I upped it to f10. Have a look at that, and you can see once again brighter on the right. Could have been just a bit, must have been a bit brighter later on. Let's go and have a look at the bark, and we'll have a see. Now, I didn't quite get this. This is tack sharp. I mean, it's pretty sharp. This one, who knows what happened there? I think a squirrel must have run behind me and knocked the camera. So unfortunately, we can't really call that one at all. So we will just go to the next image there, and the next image here. This is up to f22 now. 105mm still. Now, one important thing I didn't say earlier is that VR and optical stabilization is off. I have not got it enabled. I'm on a tripod, I'm using a timer, I'm using exposure delay mode. There's no need for VR or optical stabilization. That is off. I do have a bunch of images later on, which we'll go through over here, where I used the stabilization, and you can check that later. They're also just sitting in my study, really low lights, so you'll see that they're not too bad. Let's have a look here. We're back to the f22 photos. We should see a difference here. So back to the point of focus, and there's not much in it, to be honest. I would say it's about the same. So, but please, as I say, go grab the images yourself and have a look. Now, 200mm. This I've zoomed right in. We're going to have a quick look, and straight away, 200mm the bokeh is just amazing. There's a church in the background there, as you've seen earlier. Try identify that in this. Well, you couldn't. The bokeh, I mean, to me, it looks the same. I've seen some reviews on YouTube where the guy goes, the Nikon bokeh is better. Yeah, who knows? I mean, to me, it just looks like a watercolor painting. So it's both awesome. Let's zoom in on the tree. f2.8, and here you can see straight away which one's the winner. I'm not even sure I should say it's the Nikon, but if you can't see that's the Nikon, well, you need some glasses. So Nikon. Let's change that to the f10 shot. If you're wondering why I chose f10, well, it's because I can. It's right in the middle, f2.8, then there's an f10, and then the f22. Now it might not be an actual aperture or whatever, but that's what I used. Let's have a look. Pictures look the same. Church is becoming a bit more visible, and zoom in on the bark, and once again Nikon is a winner. The thing that you might see that there's the Sigma's a bit more blurry constantly, but I can't even explain it. I mean, I tried just as hard on both different lenses to get the same shot. In fact, I was probably more adamant that the Sigma was going to be exactly the same, because it's £1,000 cheaper, and that's, I want this lens, so that would just justify me getting another lens as well. But I can't. I mean, if you're doing stock photography, you're doing portraits, you're doing weddings, the last thing you want to do is come along and say, look, there's your images. Sorry, they're a little bit blurry. I was £1,000 cheaper on the lens choice. So let's take that up to the f22. Once again, the Nikon, the colors seem a little bit richer. We'll load that up. I'm actually quite happy I did the test again on with Bark. Bark seems to be quite a hard thing to photograph clearly. So this is not much in it. Nikon on the left's I think a bit better. It's got a bit more contrast. This seems a bit flat and a bit softer. And that is that. I mean, that's the test. If I now go and show you a different comparison, I'm going to go and load up the 105mm. This is a fixed length prime lens, 105mm, and it's used for macro photography. So this is 105mm, 100th f2.8. So I'm going to go try and load up the 105mm on this side if I can remember where it is. 105mm, f22, f10. There we go. So these photos, exactly the same exposure, same aperture, same ISO, and you'll see the difference now. Now this the lens on the left, 70-200, means you can, obviously zoom in and out. The one on the right, you either walk forward or you walk back, and then you look at the difference. Now the one on the right is a bit darker, but when you look at this, you can see on the right hand side how much clearer. Well, I mean, to me, I think it's clearer. You might not think so, but I think it's pretty clear. So that's the difference. Now if you had to use 105mm here, if I go and change this to the Sigma 105mm, let's go across here. At 2.8, let's compare them and have a look. Once again, the Nikon on the right now wins. I can show it to you at a higher f-stop as well. So f22. Whoopsie daisy. Let's get that one back up. So this is something that I've just completely broken. Anyway, you get the point. I will make these photos available online, and I hope you can see for yourself what lens you think you should get, if you should get the Sigma or if you should get the Nikon. Thank you very much.